The Elves and the Shoemaker, a magical bedtime story. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a kind and humble shoemaker with his gentle wife. The shoemaker made the finest shoes in town, but he had fallen on hard times. Though his work was beautiful, not many customers came by anymore. One evening, he sat at his workbench, counting his last few coins. "Dear," he sighed, "I only have enough leather left to make one last pair of shoes. After that, I don't know what we'll do." His wife gently placed her hand on his shoulder. "Then make those shoes your best work ever," she said, with a hopeful smile. So the shoemaker cut the leather carefully and set it on the table, planning to stitch it together in the morning. Then he and his wife blew out the candle and went to bed. But in the middle of the night, they were not burglars. They were not mice. They were elves, no taller than teacups, with nimble fingers and twinkling eyes. The stitching was perfect, the leather polished like glass. Something magical happened. Tiny shadows danced through the moonlight that peeked into the shop. Without a sound, they leaped onto the bench and began sewing and stitching and tapping away. They worked like lightning, their tiny hands moving faster than the eye could follow. By the time the rooster crowed, the plain leather had turned into the most gorgeous pair of shoes the shoemaker had ever seen. They seemed so joyful, yet their clothes were torn and their feet bare. He cut the leather, just like before, and left it on the bench. That night, instead of leather, they placed the gifts on the bench. When the shoemaker woke up and saw the finished shoes, his eyes widened in surprise. Then they danced and laughed all around the room, holding hands and twirling in circles before disappearing into the night forever. Who made these?" he whispered. A customer came in that very morning, saw the shoes, and bought them right away for twice the usual price. With that money, the shoemaker bought leather for 2 more pairs. He and his wife lived happily, never forgetting the 2 little friends who brought magic and hope when they needed it most. And again, that night, the elves returned. Snip snap, tap tap, stitch. By morning, there were 2 more perfect pairs of shoes. And once again, they sold quickly. Day after day, the shoemaker grew busier and happier, thanks to the mysterious nighttime visitors. One night, the shoemaker and his wife stayed up late, hiding behind the curtain, determined to discover who was helping them. And there they were, 2 tiny elves, wearing ragged little clothes, dancing and giggling as they worked. The shoemaker's wife whispered, "They've helped us so much. Let's make something for them." So, the next day, she sewed 2 tiny shirts, 2 cozy little vests, warm pants, socks, and even teeny boots. At midnight, the elves appeared. They saw the clothes and gasped with delight. They dressed up quickly, admiring themselves in the mirror. The shoemaker never saw the elves again, but from that day on, his business flourished, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.